The content in this presentation relates to revised A2 key and A2 key for schools for exams from January 2020. Note that all the changes described in this presentation apply to both versions, A2 key and A2 key for schools. The changes include new and updated tasks across all of the papers, better alignment between the exams, showing a clearer progression from one exam to the next, and an update to the way that grades are reported, bringing the exams in line with higher level Cambridge English qualifications. The revised tests allow for more opportunities for speaking and writing. There is a reduction of reading and an increase in writing to ensure a better balance between the skills. There is also more authenticity in the reading section, which is thought to have a positive impact on classroom teaching. Also, candidates for Key and Key for Schools will now get separate scores for reading and writing, and not a combined scores for the reading and writing paper. The speaking paper has been revised with more focus on fluency and interactive communication. Papers have introduced more of the same task types across different levels so that there is more of a family resemblance and better alignment across Cambridge English qualifications, from starters, movers and flyers to key and on from preliminary to first and beyond. A2 key has 3 papers and takes less than 2 hours in total. The new reading and writing paper is 10 minutes shorter and now has 7 tasks and 32 questions, compared to 9 parts and 56 questions in the old test. We will look at the new and revised tasks in more detail on the following slides, but this slide summarizes the changes. Let's start with the reading and writing paper. When revising this paper, the aim was to make sure there was proper coverage of different reading and writing skills and sub-skills at A2 level, while reducing repetition or redundancy. The new test also includes greater authenticity in the reading tasks. This slide summarizes the changes and only shows the new and revised items. Parts 1 and 7 are new tasks, while parts 2, 4 and 6 correspond to revised tasks of the old test. Parts 3 and 5 have not been included here because, with some minor change, they are the same as an old test task. Part 3 is the same as one of the options of old Part 4, a multiple choice exercise after reading a long text. Only that now it has 5 questions. Part 5 is the same as old Part 7 but shorter. It now includes 6 questions. Let's look at some sample exercises of these new and revised tasks and analyze them in more detail. Part 1 has been revised so that it is now the same as Part 1 in preliminary and preliminary for schools. It is still based on understanding the main message in a short notice or text, but each text or notice now has 3 multiple choice options and candidates have to choose the correct answer, A, B or C. In Part 2, candidates read 7 questions and 3 short texts. This task is similar to old Part 4, but it always now has 3 texts and A, B, C multiple choice options, which are not right, wrong or doesn't say. Notice that the possible texts in old Part 4 was 3 short texts or 1 long text. The new key test includes this second option in Part 3. Part 4 in the revised exam combines all Parts 2 and 5 and is a multiple choice closed text. Because of this combination, it now has a lexical-grammatical focus. Part 6 is now a writing task, and it tests the candidate's ability to write short texts with a real communicative purpose. Candidates write a message, short email or note, in response to information given. It's the same as all Part 9, but the word count is now 25 words or more. The mark scheme for this task has also changed. Answers are assessed using the assessment scales, which consist of 3 subscales: content, language, and organization. This scheme can be consulted in the A2Key Handbook for Teachers for exams from 2020. In the new Part 7 task, candidates are asked to write a story based on 3 pictures. They should write 35 words or more. Learners can demonstrate their ability to express their ideas in writing using a range of vocabulary and control of grammar, as well as their ability to link their ideas at a basic level to make a coherent story. This new task will enable stronger candidates to demonstrate a wider range of writing skills than the old test. This is also assessed using the assessment scales. Let's now move to the listening paper. This paper remains the same length, but there have been some changes to the tasks and the order they are in, so the less complex tasks come first. Part 1 is the same as before. Part 2 is the old Part 5. All Parts 4 and 5 were both gap-filled tasks. One has been removed to eliminate redundancy and to ensure the focus is on testing a range of listening skills. Part 3 is a multiple-choice task based on a longer listening. In the old test, this was focused on information given, with answers consistently coming from the person responding to questions. Now, the answers come from both speakers. Part 4. This is a new multiple-choice exercise based on 5 short texts, and it tests feelings, opinion, and gist, helping to align key with preliminary and first. We will look at an example on the next slide. Part 5 is the old Part 2 longer listening matching task. This is an example of the new Part 4, which is based on 5 short texts and tests feelings, opinion, and gist. Let's consider now the speaking paper. There has been a small change to Part 1, and there is a completely new Part 2, which we'll now look at. In Part 1, the interlocutor leads a general conversation with each of the candidates, while Part 2 includes a collaborative task. Examiners think the new task better supports classroom practice in 3 ways. First, by exposing candidates to a broader range of language and language functions, for example, expressing likes and dislikes, expressing and justifying opinions, etc. Secondly, by increasing the focus on spoken fluency. And thirdly, by encouraging the practice of managing interaction. For example, initiate conversation, take turns, negotiate and develop meaning, etc. Part 1 focuses on social interaction, talking about daily life, interests, likes, etc. It has the same type of questions and same testing focus as before, but the questions are now around a common theme. Part 1, Phase 2 takes the form of a topic-based interview. The interlocutor asks 2 short answer questions to each candidate, followed by one longer "tell me something about" question. This is the new Part 2 task, a collaborative task where the students talk together about a topic with some pictures to help them. The pictures are intended to act as prompts for candidates to express their opinions about the different activities, things, or places represented. They are only expected to talk about themselves. They are not asked to think about a situation or about the needs or opinions of someone else as they do at preliminary. In Phase 2, the interlocutor extends the discussion. Grades have changed to be in line with higher-level Cambridge English qualifications. The main change to the way results are reported is that from January 2020, candidates get an A, B, C grade rather than pass with distinction, pass with merit, pass as they did previously. This brings Key and Key for Schools into line with FIRST, Advanced and Proficiency.